As every chapter in the latter half starts, I'm like, is Oberon here yet? Eos's ex, Oberon, is he here yet? He's not here yet, but this is also a good chapter where a lot of dramatic and very plot important shit starts to fucking go down and the battle heats up for the first time. Alright, chapter 11, Under the Mask. Now playing as Eos, the hooded figure holds a sickle-shaped dagger against Lyra's throat as you watch from across the room. The urge to run to her overwhelms you, but the blade at her neck stops you from making any sudden movements. Her eyes find yours as she's helplessly dragged into the corridor. Zakai turns, following your gaze, but the figure and Lyra are already gone.
Eos, what's wrong? Someone got to Lyra, I'm going after them. Tell Carrie and Admiral Dimos to secure the area, but make sure none of the passengers are alerted. We can't risk causing any panic. Understood. Be careful, Eos.
You nod, giving Zakai's shoulder a reassuring squeeze, then dart down the corridor after the abductor. As you race into the corridor, your feet pounding against the floor, the hooded figure looks back and spots you.
Stay back.
You remove a glowing orange bola from your belt and prepare to sling the weighted rope toward the assailant. You gotta do the choices move and aim for the leg as you chuck the bola as hard as you can at the hooded figure's legs and watch as it wraps around them, sending them crashing to the ground.
Got him.
Lyra leaps to her feet, stretching her hand out toward you.
Eos!
Before you can reach her, the assailant leaps back up, yanking Lyra through the door of a nearby room.
I'm coming, Lyra!
You slam into the control room door as it locks behind the hooded figure. The door doesn't budge. You rub your aching shoulder, glancing up at one of the Atlas's vents just above the room entrance.
Might as well get my uniform dirty.
You climb up into the vent, your broad shoulders squeezing against the metal sides as you crawl through the narrow space.
Does anyone fit in here?
You don't stop until you're directly over the control room. As you start toward the grate, you see a tiny device attach itself to the wall and set off a laser grid in front of you. Just shoot the device directly. Remove your MI-87 from your belt and aim the Marshall gun at the small device powering the red beams. As you pull the trigger, the controls blast into pieces and the lasers disappear.
Target practice never stopped a Marshall.
And okay, has anyone else besides me fucking noticed that they spelled the word Marshall wrong in every single instance in this whole book? Anyway, sorry to detract from the momentum. Blah blah blah, he breaks into the control room. Lyra is standing in front of a large data screen as her assailant presses the knife against her collarbone.
I won't sign it. Neither will I compromise my beliefs to fight you, no matter what you do to me.
You don't have a choice. Do it now!
The hooded figure's head snaps in your direction as you start toward them.
So much for the element of surprise.
The assailant's free hand snakes into their cloak and tosses out a round orb. It hovers towards you, jabbing a long needle in your direction. Just smash the needle. You whip out your gun and use the handle to break the glass needle into pieces.
Don't underestimate what I can do with my gun.
Eos, watch out! There's another one!
So it doesn't even matter. If you do everything right, it doesn't even matter, because it's like one of those fucking, like playing a game of tag as a kid where it's like, actually no tag backs and score backs because you didn't get me, and a second orb came and then it did stick you in the neck and then you did. Anyway, a feeling of numbness spreads through your body and you find yourself slumping to the floor.
I can't feel my chest or my arms and legs. And when the toxidine finishes spreading, you won't be able to feel anything. No, this can't be happening.
You look at Lyra, your eyes wide with fear.
Lyra, soon I won't be able to move at all. My body will be paralyzed. I need you to...
Just then, you hear the sound of a loud explosion, followed by a burst of light. Zakai steps through the flaming doorway with his gun raised and fires a shot at the hooded figure.
Get away from them!
The abductor clutches their shoulder, blood pouring from the wound, before launching a grappling hook from the wrist and disappearing into the vent.
Eos, what happened? Are you hurt?
Lyra and Zakai rush over to you and kneel at your side.
He's been injected with poison, something called poxidine.
I've heard of it. Do you know how much he was injected with? You grimace as you try to point to the empty needle on the ground. Zakai picks up the orb on the ground, then heaves a huge sigh of relief. This couldn't have held much. The symptoms should only be temporary. We've just got to make sure you don't fall asleep and slip into a coma. Zakai and Lyra's concerned faces hover close to your own. You feel a strange lightness come over you, and the room starts to blur. Whoa. I have to tell you. Oh, and we get the good old classic trope of like some type of space drug or thing happens, and then you're acting all crazy and silly, and you get to be unabashed with your love interests. I also like the non-love interest option for this, though, honestly, just because everything is a kaleidoscope. I don't know if that struck me. I like that. But, you know, I'm going for the Zakai route because I'm trying to stoke the fires of Carrie and Eos both being into him. Oh, Eos going a little racial with it. Like, is that a little... Anyway, just the fact that it was literally, I wish I could touch it. I'm like, is that a little... Anyway. His cyber lines glow bright purple near his cheeks. Eos, think this is the drugs talking. I'm glad you're both here with me. I can't feel my body, but I can feel my heart, and it's filled with love. Admiral Deimos rushes into the room, gun raised. Where's the assailant? They disappeared into the vent. They could be anywhere by now. Hello, Deimos. You're so sparkly. Now we're all here. This is nice. Even though I'm filled with poison. As you beam up at Deimos, she raises her eyebrows in surprise. I'm calming the medic. Marshal Lara clearly needs medical attention. Deimos, you're the brightest star in the sky. You light up the night. I could watch you glow forever. Marshal Lara, you may want to watch what you say in your condition. As Deimos sends an alert to Meridian, Zakai whispers to you, try and keep it together, Eos. At least in front of your CO. You struggle against the fog of the poison. After you've centered yourself, you nod slowly. Okay. I can do this. Lyra lays her hand on yours. Thank you for risking your life for me. You should be thanking Zakai. He did all the work. Your bravery did not go unnoticed, Marshal Sentry. Oh, I didn't do anything special. Yes, you did. You really proved yourself as a marshal today. Lyra rises and turns back to the data screen the hooded figure left behind. It's time we destroyed the documents the attacker tried to force me to sign. They would completely negate the ceasefire peace treaties I put in place. Without them, no one will be safe on Matara during the talks. Do you have any idea who would gain from hurting you? Maybe if I can decrypt these files, we can find out who hired them. Then there'll be nowhere in the galaxy that can hide from us. There had to be a reason my personal guard turned on me. There's so much I don't understand about all of this. We have to access these files. If we need a hacker, there's no one better than Admiral Deimos for the job. Deimos looks up from her comm device at the mention of her name. Hold on, if whoever is behind this plans to replace the real peace treaties with these documents, that means they have a way to tamper with restricted documents on both sides of the war. We may find a lot more than we bargained for. Are you sure you want to see what's really on those files? Don't want to spend the diamonds, so nope. War documents are messy. Too many problems. It's not worth it. You feel your head getting heavy and your eyelids starting to close. I'm so tired. Eos, you can't fall asleep! Meridian strides into the room with his medical bag. How's he doing? Not good, you've got to help him! A hot liquid pours down your throat and your eyes snap open as steam seeps from your skin. What's happening to me?
Relax, it's Seriana. It can remove impurities from the body, including poison. The steam means it's working.
Thank the stars.
As the poison leaves your body and the fog clears, you see Deimos' concerned face frowning at her data screen.
What's wrong, Admiral?
Let the captain know he needs to get to the bridge. Immediately.
Ooh, we got a new song. Now playing as Carrie, you hurry to the bridge, only to find a swarm of fighter ships surrounding the Atlas.
Oh no.
Meridian strides in behind you.
Glad you got my comm.
He stops short when he spies the fighters.
This is even worse than I thought. What kind of ships are these? They're not bound about Ojara. I don't recognize the markings.
But I recognize danger when I see it. This isn't good.
As you silently stare through the viewport, you suddenly become aware of a strange noise.
Do you hear beeping?
Yeah, it sounds like it's coming from nearby. You head into the corridor and Meridian trails after you. A flashing light behind one of the viewport ledges catches your eye. You get closer to examine the source.
Get back, it's a bomb!
Oh, shut up, V. Sorry.
Everyone stay calm, we need to defuse it.
Last time I checked, none of us are qualified explosive experts.
I performed open heart surgery. How different could this be?
Hearts don't explode if you touch them the wrong way.
V, that is patently untrue.
We're wasting time. We need to figure out a plan and fast.
You eye the large viewports lining the wall.
Is there a way to open these if we could just get the bomb off the ship?
There should be a crew access only latch, but I'd be careful opening it. The ship has atmospheric regulation. You don't want to get sucked out.
Hurry, the timer's going down. This thing could blow any minute.
Just go crazy and open it super fast. You flip the latch, throwing the viewport open. The bomb flies out the viewport, but you're sucked forward by the atmospheric pressure. You manage to grab hold of the viewport ledge before you can be swept further into space, but you can feel your fingers slipping.
Carrie!
Meridian links his fingers through the grating, then reaches for your hand. He pulls you back inside, and together, the two of you are able to force the viewport shut.
Right. That was a little close. We got rid of the bomb.
You watch the bomb glide away from the ship, then explode in a burst of light. Shut up, V. You realize your hands are shaking and try to steady them.
Oh, we'd never have to do that again.
Suddenly a scream echoes from down the corridor.
The passengers!
You and Meridian hurry down the corridor and back to the lounge. You find the lounge in a state of chaos. Masked attackers fan out into the room and begin firing warning shots as the guests scatter in terror.
Everybody on the ground!
Please don't kill us!
If you hurt our Warren, I'll destroy you!
As the assassins fire a few more shots, you and Meridian dive behind some chairs for cover. Soul crawls over to you from behind a nearby love seat.
Captain Aurora, thank the stars you remain uninjured. We need to get the passengers out of here.
I know, we've got to figure something out before it's too late.
At that moment, there's a loud scream. You peek around the sofa to see one of the assassins aiming their blaster at Merope, who stands between him and Rana.
Stay away from my daughter, you brute!
Oh, they fully stole the Harry Potter line, but they couldn't even say the word bitch yet, I guess, because now in these later books, they're like, you know, they threw that out the window and they're cussing left and right. Anyway,
Rana, run! But
Rana ducks behind an armchair as the assassin moves in on Merope. You start toward her. Fucking just go crazy and grab the gun! You sprint toward the assassin and pull the blaster out of their hand before they have time to react.
What? Ugh.
And then smash the gun across their face. They crumple to the ground, unconscious.
you saved me.
That's our job. Kepler hurries over to you from across the room, punching out an assassin as she passes.
Well done, Cap, you got some moves.
Kepler pulls you down behind a couch for cover. Other passengers are hiding nearby. Cap, we're badly outnumbered here. You scan the room. Your crew is fighting the assailants, but more masked figures continue spilling through the doorway.
How long do you think we can hold them off? Probably a lot longer if you had a real weapon.
She unhooks a whip from one of her harnesses and flicks a switch on the handle. The whip suddenly lights up, jumping with an electric current. Why don't you give this a go? Use the electric whip? I don't know. I feel like I just like I feel like it's a very carry choice to literally be like, I can't handle that. I'll probably just electrocute myself. Well, if you want to use your bare hands, I won't stop you. A few assassins approach, and Kepler hops over the couch and begins fighting them. As you move toward the struggle, you hear a movement behind you. You turn to face an assassin holding a huge scythe.
You're mine, Cyber.
Gary, hurry, I don't have defensive software!
Sweep the leg, cause that's the choices. Move. Sweep the leg, cause that's the choices. Move. Thanks, Pixelberry. I mean, I guess it's a good move in real life. Anyway, they lose their balance and topple forward. As they land, their head hits the hilt of their scythe, knocking them out. Kepler raises her eyebrows as she watches nearby.
Oh, I've never been so impressed. Apparently you know what you're doing, Cap.
I was made for this. As the battle rages on, you and Kepler continue fighting side by side. I feel like the Alara's all their hand-to-hand combat skills is just they fought each other growing up so much that now they're like good at, like, exactly, here's my point too, she's just like good at punching people out because it's just been like Alara fights at their home. Now playing as Pax, you weave through the lounge brawling with the seemingly endless waves of assassins. You punch an attacker squarely in the jaw.
Good. Take your stupid black cloak and crawl back to whatever planet you came from.
The assassin drops to the floor, but you sense someone approaching behind you. When you whirl around, you find yourself face to face with Holmes, who's clutching a potted plant.
Holmes, what are you doing?
I'm helping to fend off the intruders.
I didn't know you could fight.
Oh, I can't, but I'm great at distractions. At that moment, a string of blasts goes off on the other side of the room. Holmes gives a little jump and a yelp, dropping his plant.
Maybe we should stick together. I need someone to have my back.
Great, though I doubt there's anything you can't do on your own. The two of you sneak along the viewports until you reach a small group of assassins.
Let's throw a couch at him. We should be able to lift it together, no problem.
Using our surroundings, good thinking! You and Holmes squat down to get a grip on the base of the couch. With some grunting, you manage to lift it off the ground.
And remember, lift with your legs, not your back.
I'm lifting with my legs, now can we please throw this before my arms give out? You throw the couch in the direction of the assassins, pinning them to the ground.
Bada-boom! For once, the couch sits on you.
Oh, Pax, I'm giving you a shut up V for Pax.
Oh no, guys!
Guys, it's time to rend my fucking heart in two and to open my fucking diamond wallet. Guys, here it comes. You spot Corvus and Argo, circled by attackers nearby. Corvus elbows two assassins in their stomachs simultaneously. Guys, I don't want it to happen, but I know it's gonna happen.
2 more direct hits, this brings your score up to 26.
You've been making pretty short work of these goons yourself, Argo! As if on cue, Argo whirls around in a quick circle with his arms outstretched, toppling several assassins as they collide with his metallic limbs.
I'm programmed to understand the needs of every passenger, and what these thugs need is some sense knocked into them.
You never cease to amaze me. Suddenly, an attacker rushes at Corvus, their blaster raised. Just as they pull the trigger, Argo whips around, diving in front of Corvus.
I will not permit you to harm him.
The plasma blast hits Argo, and the side of his head shatters, revealing his inner circuits. Argo! No! You and Holmes rush over as Corvus smacks the attacker aside, then gently lowers Argo to the ground. Argo! Why'd you have to go and do that? I simply could not fathom the idea of a universe without you in it. Tears streak down Corvus's face as he clutches Argo. Holmes turns to you with watery eyes. Pax, there must be something you can do. You can fix anything. You lean closer to Argo's face, trying to avoid the electricity sparking from his exposed circuits.
The plasma hit pretty close to his core processor. I might be able to do a little rewiring to make sure the damage stays contained. If it's not addressed now, his repair circuits will fry and it'll be too dangerous to fix him later. We'd risk wiping his entire memory chip.
The first time I played this, I was like, oh, fuck you, Pixelberry, but the second time playing through, I'm like, I guess it is kind of a classic choice's choice to be like, let this character live or die. And you know what I picked.
Does that mean it's possible to save him, Pax?
You know what I picked. Robo-homosexuality. Root 24/7. You kneel down next to Argo and gently lift his head.
Don't worry, I'm gonna make sure you're all right.
You take a few tools from your belt and carefully adjust some wiring inside of Argo's head.
Ouch!
An assassin approaches from behind, swinging his scythe at Corvus. Corvus's eyes emit a milky glow as he leaps to his feet and out of the way. You should know an epoch can predict any move you can make. Well then, this is the worst possible time to bring that up because, well then, why'd you let your boyfriend take a headshot about 2 fucking seconds ago? Like, how did they... What a little old script oversight that was. Anyway. I don't have time for this! Corvus jabs his attacker in the neck, and the masked assassin crumples to the ground unconscious. He then kneels beside Argo, nervously watching you repair him.
Is he gonna be okay? He'll need a more formal repair later on, but I've made sure his circuits won't get fried before then.
I don't know how to thank you.
Just take care of him until I can come back.
He reaches for Argo's hand, and Argo's fingers close around his.
Was? Don't worry, Argo. I've got you.
You take a deep breath and look around the room. The decorations are destroyed, and the bodies of assassins litter the floor. But not the decorations.
Who do these invaders think they are? What kind of monsters attack a ship full of innocents?
As your gaze sweeps over the open door, you see a flash of movement. An unarmed assassin peeks their head in, then quickly dashes away.
And where do you think you're going?
You sprint through the door, chasing after them. In the corridor, you manage to get close enough to reach out and grab the edge of their cloak.
Get off me!
I think you're the one who needs to get off my brother's ship!
You give the cloak a forceful tug, and the rest of the assassin's disguise rips off, including their mask, as they crash to the ground. Still clutching the cloak in your hand, you shake your head in disbelief.
No, you're one of them.
A familiar face looks up at you.
I am so sorry, Pax.